former Marine, a Shrig brother, competitive shooter, and a member of Team RSF and Recon Sniper Foundation. These are just a few of the things you're going to learn about our next guest here on the Jarhead Podcast. Let's roll that intro.
You will treat all Marines with the highest level of respect, for we have earned our place as Marines, and will accept nothing less than that from
you. This is my rifle. There are many like it, but this one is mine. My rifle is my best friend. It is my life. I must master it as I must master my life. Without me, my rifle is useless. Without my rifle, I am useless.
What is going on, all my crayon eaters? Welcome to the Jarhead Podcast Season 2. Welcome to the suck. We're going to have a lot of great guests this season. We're really excited about our guest tonight. Todd is a former Marine, former Shrig brother of mine, and competitive shooter. Does a lot of stuff with Recon and Sniper Foundation. We're going to get into all of that, plus a lot of the fun questions we always ask. But before we get going, let's remember one thing. There are a lot of brothers and sisters out there that we have that are in pain, that are in that darkness, and they're looking for that light. Email me, text me, call me 24/7. I can't give you any medical advice, but I can be a pretty decent ear to listen to, maybe talk you through some stuff. If you are looking out there for someone to get you some medical attention or put you in the right direction for some help, remember two things. One, you are not alone in this fight. You have a lot of brothers out here that are willing and able to help you in any way possible. And two, the world is a much better place with you in it. So please, I implore you, utilize the Veteran Crisis Hotline, 1-800-273-8255. Once again, 1-800-273-8255. Now you can do on your cell phone, just dial 988 on your cell phone, the Veteran Crisis Hotline. And as always, we're going to spotlight the United States Marine Corps. If you have any questions on what it takes to earn the title of United States Marine, see the website marines.com. So we're going to bring in our buddy Todd, who once again, former Marine, was in Shrig. It was so funny, Todd, is when we first started talking, I don't know, a couple years ago through social medias and all that. You know, it's so funny that the guys today, when you say I was a Shrig guy, they have no idea what Shrig was. Back then, we thought we were pretty high speed, low drag, pretty cool guys, did some weird different stuff in different parts of the world and all of that. But Shrig stands for Surveillance Reconnaissance Intelligence Group. And there's not many of us that were in there because it was a small, at least I was with 3rd and with 1st, and I was never over at 2nd. I was never at Lejeune, thank God. I was with 3rd and with 1st. And so there's this kind of a small thing, and I've run into several guys that were in about the same time and were different places, even the same places like in Camp Hansen and in Okinawa, but they had left, rotated out maybe 2 or 3 months before I got there or whatever. And it was kind of cool, but yeah, Shrig doesn't even exist anymore. So it's kind of cool when you hear someone say, I was a Shrig guy. Hey, I know about when you were in, and I know when you got out, because Shrig, I got out in 98, and it was dismantling at that point. They were transitioning maybe to MAGTAF. I don't remember exactly where it transitioned to after group, but I think it went over to MAGTAF and all that. So we had over in 1st, we had Intel, we had all that stuff, Force, Anglico, 11th, 13th, and 15th Muse, if I'm not mistaken. Over in the 3rd, we had CAB, who's what was out with the Combat Assault Battalion, had the Intel stuff, and then you had the 31st Muse, which I was attached to for a while, going some places. So it was a kind of a cool time, a cool place that no longer exists. So when you run into a guy that said he was a Shrig guy, it's like, holy shit, you know, it's one of those things where, wow, you don't see many of them. But welcome to the Jarhead Podcast, Todd. I appreciate you coming on, bro.
Hey, thanks for having me. Yeah, it's what you said there. I was like, yeah, I still have my first Intel company shirt, right?
Yeah.
Out at Camp Pendleton. I don't have anything from 3rd SRI Group. 3rd SRI, yeah. Even though I was part of 3rd SRI Group, I don't think we officially stood up. When I was there, we were headquartered at the what was the Battalion 8 station right by the helo pad at Camp Courtney.
That's interesting because I spent when I got there in early November, actually, mid-November, I guess, early November of '94, and I was at Hanson with Cav. With Third Cav was I don't even know. I don't think they're around anymore, but Third Cav was Combat Assault Battalion, and we were at Hanson, and then I immediately got attached to 31st View, which we were rotating. We were going a couple places over in East Africa and some different places. We were gone till like May. When I came back, we had 3 weeks in our barracks, and then they transitioned us down to Courtney. So I spent the last few months at Courtney. We were, so you know where like the little chow hall was, we were the barracks kind of facing that like at an angle right there by the gate. If you remember that, it's been a long time.
It's been a while. So if you come in the front gate, I know there were some folks in the barracks to the right of the front gate. If you go down to the main, coming in the main gate, go down, and then you turn left. It's by the E Club, just down past the E Club. Go further on down. That's where we were.
Yeah, we were up top right there by the gate, and the bad thing about that is where my window was right in the sunlight during the day. So we ended up putting the aluminum foil over the windows and our poncho liner. We had our poncho liner up and covering the aluminum foil because it was like the sun came right in and all that. It was some cool times. Yeah, I was at Courtney for a few months. Probably got there, I want to say like maybe early July, and then was there for a few months before I left. But yeah, it was cool. I loved Okinawa. Obviously, I'm married in Okinawan, so I kind of am partial to that. So I met her there.
Congratulations.
Yeah, well, I mean, I don't know about that. 26 years with an Okinawan girl. It's kind of a brutal thing. You know how it is. But no, it's
tenacity, dude.
yeah. So I love Okinawa. My wife's going back in January, February for a few weeks to see her parents and all of that. So love it over there and all that. But I really did. A lot of people didn't like The Rock. I went over there as a 19-year-old, PFC, not knowing anything about anything, out of school and all that. And I said, you know what? And when I got out of school, they said, I came in second in my class. So they basically gave me choice of duty station. I said, well, I'm never going to go to Japan. I knew I didn't want to go to Lejeune. I didn't really enjoy the East Coast. I was over there for school, not Lejeune, but I was in the East Coast. I'm not an East Coast guy. I went to boot camp in San Diego. So I was like, let's put that down there. But I said, you know what? I want to go to Okinawa, because I'm never going to go to Japan in my regular life, so I might as well get paid to go do an adventure. So I went over there with an attitude of, man, let's have some fun. Let's do this right. We went up to camp, Akuma up north, on weekends, and camped out and did a lot of scuba diving, a lot of snorkeling. Obviously enjoyed the nightlife and all of that when we were there, but I really enjoyed Okinawa. I don't know what your experiences were. Did you enjoy it, or were you one of those guys that was just trying to get off the rock?
I actually had a great time out there, even though I was only stationed there for a year. I think I was on island for a total of 3 mons.
Yeah, it's about that was
we were sent out on various debts, right? So TAD here and there.
Oh yeah,
I was definitely busy.
Yeah, like I said, I got there in November, and we were told that we were leaving early January. So I literally had like 7 weeks to catch up a 3-month workup that everyone else had already been working on. And I was like, once again, I'm also 19. Like, the only thing I know is what I've learned at school, and you learn real quick. That ain't how it works in the fleet. So I'm learning. I'm attached to 31st View with CAB, and so it's one of those things where you learn real quickly. You better learn real quickly to adapt. Once again, to learn quick, and I just went in there to keep my head down. But yeah, we were gone at least till like late May. So yeah, so I was really half the year I wasn't even on island, which was okay. We did some cool stuff, we did some bad stuff, but it is what it is. That's what we do. But and all that. Before we get going into the deep questions, we like to do a thing called the pit, and really what it is it's just quick. Like first thing that comes to your head answers, kind of get the blood flowing before we really kind of dive into the deep, heavy stuff. So I'm going to throw some questions out there, Todd, and just kind of first thing that comes to your mind, go for it. All right.
All right. We'll try.
All right. Best and worst MRE.
Oh, wow. I think it was the best. Oof. It's been a while. What was that? I hated the Franken beans, right?
Oh yeah,
that was the worst. I think the chicken. What was that? Chicken a la king or something like that?
Yeah, it was like the chicken breast thing, or are you talking about the cubed up ones?
It was the cubed up ones.
Yeah, okay. I don't remember the name of it, but I remember those. Yeah.
I know guys that remember numbers on those. I can't remember those.
I don't. Now, my favorite was the beef stew. For some reason, the beef stew was always, you could count on it just being decent. And, sometimes we would just kind of have a few minutes here and there in between whatever. So I would just throw the peanut butter and the crackers into the beef stew. It sounds disgusting, and mix it all up and just try to down it. I'm telling you, peanut butter, crackers, and a beef stew actually wasn't bad. I don't know, but that was my favorite.
That is interesting. We packed other little things, like the top ramen to get thrown in there, right? So that helps. Those flavor packets were good. I can't say with the beef stew, instead of the peanut butter, I actually put the cheese in there.
Oh, okay. I never tried. That would have been smart to do. Yeah, that would have been good. Yeah, I didn't think about that. So it's one of those things.
Do that this weekend. Just go buy a box of MREs and go try to conjure up all the crazy stuff that we had made way back.
I was at the local Army surplus store last year sometime. I was picking up something, and they had a case of MREs, and I was really close to buying it just to see what was in there and all of that. But like, oh my gosh! So yeah. What was your least favorite MRE, if you remember?
It was the Franken beans. Could not stand that.
Okay. Yeah, that was bad. There was something. Do you remember the egg one, the breakfast, the egg, something with egg? It was nasty. And then there was a tuna one that was just disgusting.
It sounds disgusting.
They were bad. We did have a guy. We had a guy that he was our DM, and he enjoyed the tuna. So every time anyone got into tuna, like, he was willing to trade for it. We're like, hell yeah, whatever you have is better than the tuna. So we would trade with him. So it is what it is. But yeah,
everybody's got the different taste. There's guys that like the Franken beans. It's like.
Yeah.
You see guys now, it's like they order a hamburger dry.
Yeah.
Like, I don't know, dude. You're missing out.
Yeah. Yeah, everyone's taste buds, I guess, are different. I don't know. Favorite superhero?
Superhero. Wow. Superman, obviously. It would be Superman for sure.
There you go. Of all the weapons that you've had an opportunity to shoot in your life, what's your favorite weapon system that you've been able to shoot?
Oh man, do they still have is it still called the Mark IV, which was the little grenade launcher thing? It was like
For me, it was like the Mark. It was like the Mark 19 or something like that. It looked like the Mod Deuce that you had, but it was the. Oh, I think it was bad. I think it was like the Mark 19 or something. But oh my
was
god,
it the Mark 19? Okay,
I don't know. I might be wrong. It's been a long time, but yeah, that thing is bad.
You're probably right. That is my favorite because I just remember cruising behind, in a turret with that thing just laying down rounds, boom, 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 and just watching them fly out there and detonate.
Just destroy stuff. I mean, just absolutely destroys. I mean, who doesn't want a fully automatic 20 millimeter grenade? I think it was a 20 millimeter, whatever it was. That thing was a bad thing, though. That thing, it was, and you're like, oh, the coolest sound ever. I know a Mod Deuce has a great sound, and I know that a minigun has a great sound. The grenade launcher is pretty cool, man.
Yeah, it's pretty devastating, I think.
Yeah. What was your first car?
Ooh, it was a 1977 Chevy Chevette.
Nice. Chevettes were badass, dude. They were badass machines.
Well, no. Chevette, not Chevelle.
Corvette.
Not Corvette.
I know a Chevette. Yeah, they were pretty badass little things, man.
You okay? All right.
A buddy of mine had one, and he would. He might have been souped up. I don't know, but it was a pretty cool little car.
Yeah, back then it was $500. It got me to school. Where I grew up, we were allowed to drive to school. At 16, we could have our driver's license, right? So, bam, we're set.
Absolutely. And the last one, and this is usually our most controversial question that we ask. People get in arguments out there about this, and comments will run rabid through the comments when this is posted. Is a hot dog a sandwich?
I'm sorry, you broke up a little bit. Is a what?
Is a hot dog a sandwich?
Is a hot dog a sandwich? I would say no.
That's a great answer. That is the correct answer in my book. Man, there's people that get butt hurt over that question. So the fans out there, they love it. So 2 pieces of bread and a meat is a sandwich. That's a bun. More importantly, if you go to a restaurant, a hot dog and a hamburger are their own separate entities. They're not under the sandwich menu. They're their own separate thing. So
I agree.
That's just me. But there's some people out there that is probably the flat earthers that think that hot dogs are sandwiches. But hey, to each his own. It is what it is.
Yep. They call me up, change my mind. I'm happy to talk to you.
There you go. I agree. Well, we're going to get ready to get into it. And these are the questions that everyone loves to hear. And we ask a lot of the same questions. But today, in this podcast, guys, what we're going to be talking about is about Todd's experiences in the military, kind of what some of the stories that he had. More importantly, he is a member of Team RSS and a member of the Recon and Sniper Foundation. It's a great foundation that does a lot of great work, especially in the competitive shooting world. Team RSF is out there. And there's going to be a lot of things we're going to talk about for the people out there that are transitioning or thinking about, I'm at that 12-year mark. Do I want to go ahead and go to 20? What is out there and all that. We're going to talk a little bit about stuff about after the military life. And we've been doing that for a while, but I think that's where a lot of people are, especially out there. If you're active right now, you may not know what some of the options are, and there some of the foundations and organizations that are out there to help you in that decision and the transition. So we're going to kind of jump in. And the best way to start out, I guess, is with Todd. What motivated you to join the Marine Corps? Was a military part of your family's history, or was that something you always wanted to do, or how did joining the Marine Corps happen in your life?
Personal reasons. I wanted to get out of the house, and I took my ASVAB and had all the recruiters hit me up, but I think the Marine Corps had more of what I was looking for, right? The uniform obviously was the shits. Sorry. The blues,
No,
obviously.
100%. It's the best uniform in the military, hands
Right, the
down.
blues is there, and just looking at all, I did my own little research way back when, and that's was the branch that I wanted. It was the men's department of the Navy.
Yeah. I've never heard that. I've never heard that before, but I like that. I've got a bunch of buddies that are squids that were team guys, and I usually call them Meal Team 6 or Gravy Seals or something. But I'm going to call them the kids department of the men's store. So, and we're the men. We're the adult section. I like that. I like that a lot. Yeah, I like that.
That was what we talked about back when I was in, right? The whole crayon eating thing had to happen after I was like, what? I never even heard of it until probably like about 4 or 5 years ago. So that's new.
I had no idea. I had never heard of it. And people say, "Oh, what's up, crayon eater?" And I'm like what? I have no idea. Now it's just one of those things where I had someone send me a box of Crayolas. But he inside of it plays a Marine Corps hymn, it plays taps, it plays music when you open it up and all that. But I had no idea what the crayon thing was. The worst thing you could call us back in the day was a jarhead. But like we totally embraced Jarhead. Like that was right. You weren't getting Curtis with Jarhead, so they really had nothing to call us. I heard Semper Pi one time. That was pretty funny, but the crayon thing has got to be in the last 10 years. I don't know. Yep. So, tell us a little bit about your time in the Corps. Maybe you don't have to go into the specifics because there's some things I know that, but kind of give an idea to people their background of what your MOS was, some of the schools or training that you did, and all that stuff, so they kind of understand like what your background with the Marine Corps is.
Sure. I actually signed up to be a computer operator. That was 4030. I think it was 4034 was the MOS. Okay. Graduated from boot camp. I was Paris Island. 2044 was the platoon, and first school was out of Quantico. Okay. That was where the computer science school was. Went there, learned some COBOL programming, learned how to be a tape ape, worked on it was it was big mainframe systems. That was back then. And as we were finishing up with school, we were asked to volunteer. They needed 3 volunteers to go down to Dam Neck, Virginia. Volunteer. So it's to another type of computer training.
That's where I went to school, was at Dam Neck. Yeah.
Yeah. Yep. Yeah. So went down to Dam Neck, and back then it was called Magis IAC. It was Marine Air Ground Intelligence Services. Mm-hmm. And Intel Analyst Center is the IAC. It was basically 3 old bands put together, and it was archaic. Seriously.
What year is this? What year is this, by the way?
So this was 88.
Okay. I was there in 94. So, yeah. Okay.
88. These bands had literally really old stuff. All right. Back in 88, there wasn't, computers were not a big thing back then. So they had these giant discs, and it was 5 discs, and it was probably like about that big around.
Oh, wow.
We have jokes about sending, boots to go get LPDs, right? Blinker fluid. Those LPDs.
Left-handed screwdrivers were great ones, yeah.
Yep. So LPDs, little pink dots. This was basically punched from paper tape, right? So you send them to go get me a box of LPDs.
I love it.
So,
oh Lord.
Quantico, Dam Neck, Okinawa. Okinawa was 3rd SRI group. Spent time there back then when there was a real Subic Bay, right?
Yeah, right. Yeah.
Yep.
We didn't get a chance to go to the Philippines. It was already pretty much like we weren't allowed there in 94, 95. So I don't know if we had a presence there or not, but we couldn't go. So I didn't get the chance to go there. I heard it was pretty cool though.
Yeah. It was nice when I was there. Let's see. From Okinawa, came back to Pendleton. I was with 1st SRI group. Let's see. 1st SRI group, 13 area, at Pendleton.
Yep.
There was a tank museum that was outdoors back by, what was it, Rattlesnake Canyon Road?
Really?
That is? Yep. So back there was where first SRI group was headquartered at.
Yeah, when I was with Strig, 1st Strig, I was with 9th Com Battalion. And so we were basically right across the street from the PX. Across the road from Group and all of that, we were on the mountainside of the highway with 9th Com back there.
Okay. Yep.
They had a little compound. I don't know if 9th Com was a thing when you were there or not. I have no idea.
Yep, I do remember 9th Com. We had partnered up with 9th Com. Because of the work that we were doing, we were working, providing analysis work, right? Back then there was the Scampers. I don't know if they had those folks, right? The counter intel guys,
the human, we call them, we were human. Yeah. Yep. Human intelligence. These people don't realize basically we were the drones before drones.
That's what the Scampers were. They were basically planted. They'll drop them sensors, right, from the back of 46s.
Yep.
And boom, they can say, yep. From my understanding, that's gone. That's been gone a long time.
Yeah, I think, a long time. But that's kind of what we were somewhere for about, we were usually there for 2 or 3 weeks at the most. Sometimes we slept in trees. Sometimes we had a building that we would take over, kind of just basically whatever was around. We kind of just did what we had. We observed. We were there making sure that we got intel back to whoever needed it for whatever mission, whatever decision they were going to do with whatever they needed. But yeah, that was an interesting time. Especially when you're a 19-year-old boot out of school, you got picked for all the crappy jobs and all of that. So yeah, that was fun.
Yeah. I was Corporal of the Guards when Kuwait went down.
Did you go over there? Were you over in? Yeah,
I did not.
I was always wanted to know what that was like.
I did not. Most of the unit went, and I had orders.
Oh, okay.
To go for a 3rd school. They were changing my MOS. I'm like, okay. I didn't ask for it. First sergeant says, sorry, you can't turn it down. We're officially in a conflict of some sort. So that's what he told me. So, I 3 bags full, boom, off to Lejeune, Courthouse Bay. And I was electrical equipment repairs MOS.
Okay. All right.
So all the big generators that ran all the camps.
Everything. Yeah.
That ran everything. That's what I learned to work on. That's interesting. Keep running. Yeah, it was an interesting. I don't know what happened. Right. So
yeah.
Finished school. Went to 29 Palms.
The Stomps.
Yep. The 29 Palms. Yep. I loved it. Yeah. I had a great time out there.
We were there for training. I enjoyed it when we went up there, but I wasn't there for very long. I was there for a few days. I wasn't stationed up there, so it's probably different up there if you live there. I don't know.
I kept myself busy. I lived out in town, and I was volunteer firefighter out there. So that took up, some of my time, but to me, it kept me busy.
Yeah. And that's really what it is people don't realize this. And I can't speak. I don't think you can. I don't speak for any other branches. I can just tell you what it is. At least when I was in the Marine Corps, is we talk about two things. Hurry up and wait is a real thing, and then standby for the standby is a real thing also. So you have to get creative on keeping your mind sharp, or at least keeping you to where you're not bored and going crazy. You gotta just figure out a way to make it through wherever you are. What I will say this is, and like I said, we were only in the stumps for like a few days at a time. We had to go up and do something or whatever, test out something or some radios, or do some different stuff out there. I will say this. Usually the worst places to be stationed have like the most stuff for the guys on base, whether it's a really cool E club or NCO club, or they've got a great PX. I don't know. They usually they know that they're in the shithole of the earth. So they give you really cool places to go. Usually a theater or something. At the stumps, how was this? Did they give you all that stuff at the stumps, or was it as bad as it looked from where I was?
It's as bad as
Okay.
I thought it was pretty bad. I kept myself busy, right?
Yeah.
I was with Marine Wing Support Squadron 173. We took care of the expeditionary field out there. I worked in the S3. They sent me to NDC school.
Nice.
Back when it was still, at El Toro. It wasn't the full-length one, right?
Guys, I want to take just a minute to talk about a subject that's near and dear to my heart. A couple friends of mine are a part of what they call the MARSOC 3, who were falsely accused and falsely charged with the death of a contractor back in 2019. This has been going on for 3 years, and they're dragging them, their families, and their friends through absolute hell. There is absolutely no evidence whatsoever to say anything but self-defense. If you haven't heard of the MARSOC 3, just Google it and you can find all the information you want. What I'm asking you to do is to help these guys with their legal defense costs. It's going to cost a lot of money for these guys to fight for their lives, and I'm asking you to join me in helping them support this cause. All you got to do is go to this website and donate what you can, whether it's $1 or $100, whatever you have. Every dollar helps. So if the word Semper Fidelis mean anything to any of you out there, please join me in this fight. Let's free the 3.
I was a combat safety swimmer, so I basically made sure my squadron was, trained up, ready to go. Right.
Nice. So you were the go-to guy for the water in your unit.
Yeah. Yep.
Nice. How'd that go fun for you? But they loved your ass, didn't they?
Yeah, it was interesting to get senior enlisted Marines come up. Hey, Corporal, can you hook an old dog up? Sure. I'll make sure your bag is not a wet one. It's a, brand new, hasn't hit water yet, so it's going to float. Right? Oh, come on.
Sorry, Top. You're getting in the water, bud. Sorry. That's just the way it is.
I think they understood. They definitely tried. They ultimately got in and did what they had to do, right?
I think everyone tried to get out of that, because people don't realize, like, the water sucks. Like, really, the water sucks. Like, that is the great equalizer. I'm comfortable in the water. I grew up and I had a pool, swim the pool all the time. But it's different when you've got a full loadout and full camis, and they teach you how to, to air it up a little bit to float, but it really doesn't work. All of this stuff, it's different when you're not in a bathing suit, swim with your girlfriend or whatever. It's real and it sucks. The worst thing that I ever did in the water, did you ever do the drown proofing? That was not good. And I'm short, so I had a lot longer to go up and a lot farther down to come down, being 5'7". I like to say I'm 5'8", but I'm really 5'7". So that was a difficult thing for me. Is drown proofing was not fun. That was the worst thing probably in the water that I ever did.
I think I learned some little techniques, right? Because I was being in Okinawa, I got scuba certified.
Yep. Same
And
here.
right before Kuwait hit, I was actually working on my rescue diver certification out
Oh,
here.
really? Oh, wow.
Yeah.
Nice.
So the instructor is old Corps Marine, great guy, and he taught me a bunch of tricks. So when I went to go get qualified to become a combat safety swimmer, you got all the instructors that's like, okay, you have to at least, I think it was like swim like 1,000 yards.
Holy cow.
Within a certain amount of time, tread water.
Now, is this all in a pool or is this an open water? This is in a pool, right?
This was in the pool. Yeah.
Okay.
So there were some requirements, right? And then part of that drown proofing thing is they want to see if they can do something to you to make you freak out.
Yeah.
Because if you're going to be a combat safety swimmer, you got to know how to get out of there. Right?
See, they didn't really screw with us because I wasn't trying to do the instructor. I wanted to pass my once a year thing just to get done. I think we had to bob up and down. It was either like 3 minutes or 5 minutes or something like that. But basically all we did, you had our hands tied and we just went up and down and up, and they weren't screwing with this. They didn't do anything. It was just like, can you mentally understand that and I found out I failed the first time, one time, passed the second time. But it's a rhythm, basically, what I figured out. I don't know, you can have some more insight, but to me is if you got into a decent rhythm and blowing your air out, coming down and all of that you could get into a decent rhythm. And at that point, it's just, you got to push hard enough to get up. If you slip on the bottom and don't push hard enough, that's where I saw a lot of guys they just freaked out because they couldn't get all the way up.
Right. Yeah, I think all of it came down to not freaking out, right? You know that they're going to be there. They're not going to let you die.
No.
Right?
No.
Ultimately, they're there to get you
to get through this. They want you to pass. They want you to get through this. Yeah.
Exactly. So they might haze you a little bit. They might talk crap to you and stuff like that, but they want you to pass. So even if you mess up, you learn it now even more, right? As we gain experience in life, focus on what you're supposed to do. Focus on what you're taught, right? Yeah. All of that training should be coming back, right? You can't take a deep breath, obviously, underwater, but calm yourself down, right? What were you taught? Boom, step through it.
The weirdest thing for me was, I guess when you're down there, like I said, I was comfortable in water before I joined the military, but I wasn't a swimmer by any means. Like, the old combat, I don't know what you call it, but it was like the side stroke, I guess is what it was. You kick the legs and you kind of, it's not really a breaststroke. It was kind of it was like a side stroke.
It was a side stroke basically. And I guess when I was in, there was also, they taught you if, you were in the water and they teach you how to clear fire, fuel fire. So that was part of it.
I think a lot of it is just people don't realize like how long that even someone who's not used to it, you can hold your breath if you're comfortable, if you're calm, if you're under control, you can hold your breath a lot longer than you think you can. And I think that's the whole thing is if you're staying under control, staying calm, that was the biggest thing. I just remember going through it and all the instructors used to say, look, just stop thinking, just relax. Like you've got to be under control. If you're under control and you're relaxed and calm, you can do this. And that was helping me. It's just, okay, relax. And it's not saying it was easy. It was hard as hell. At least for me, it was. But them kept telling me it was just relax and calm down. Like you're going to get through this. You just have to, this is all a mental game. Yes, you're underwater, but it's not physical. At this point, it's all mental. And once you get under that, the fact that you said, they're not going to kill me. And that was my whole attitude during all the schools and all the training that I went to. They're not going to kill me. Like they want to make me a better person. They want to train me. So they're not going to kill me. And if I just keep my head right, then I can get through this. And that's kind of how I went through it and all that. And I'm sure it's a little bit different as an instructor because now you're teaching people like me how to calm down. You had to worry about not just you, but you had to worry about 10, 15, 20 guys staying under control. And that's pretty stressful as well.
Yeah, it was the squadron had to get, swim quality,
Yeah.
right? So got to do what you got to do. So
that's right.
One of the things that I do remember constantly telling them, if don't freak out, tuck your chin, try to tuck your chin and lean forward because your lungs will help float you. So
we all have funny stories. We all have things that we happen to us that will live with us, and that's what the great part of I think the veteran community is, the stories. What's the craziest / funniest story that happened when you were in that you sit there that you still think about every now and then, or when you guys get together, you talk about, do you remember when this happened? Is there that one crazy or funny story that you can talk about that you had?
Wow.
I'm sure there were plenty of them.
Plenty, yeah. There's plenty of stories that I can't talk about.
Right. No, I understand. And people don't understand this, not because they're classified. You just really can't talk about some of this stuff. It's not good.
Yeah, you're sworn to secrecy with your buds, right?
That's right. That's right.
Yeah. Let's see. I would say while I was working on my rescue diver certification, we're out at Shaw's Cove up in San Clemente area in California. My instructor asked me, hey, come be a second set of eyes, just so you can learn how to handle students in case they freak out. So I'm just basically there as an extra set of eyes. And he says, I want you to keep an eye on this lieutenant. He's trying to fight his fears. All right. So he goes, constantly hover right by him. Got it. It was a night dive for an advanced open water certification. So instructor goes out. Well, we all go out. I keep an eye on the lieutenant, and we get to an area where we all get in a circle. We do the bioluminescence thing, after turning off the flashlight and everything, right? The instructor skips off, comes back with a little octopus, and he starts bouncing it around inside that circle. And this octopus comes at the lieutenant. And, dive mask is about that big, right?
Yeah.
But I could literally see the whites of his eyes on the side. All the times. I mean, I feel bad for the guy afterwards, right? And what does he do? He's supposed to be going for advanced open water, rips his mask off, starts to shoot up.
I'm out.
That's literally what he did. So,
how deep was he?
We were probably like about 35 feet.
So he was deep enough that shooting up could have been dangerous for him.
Yes.
Yeah.
So
okay.
I can say I helped. So he goes shooting up. All I did was just grab. By then, my instructor had grabbed the mask, cleared the octopus away from it, hold him down, gave him his mask. But just the whites of his eyes on the sides of that mask, I had to contain myself because I'm there to help, right? So, but thinking about it afterwards, me, the instructor, his wife, it was yeah, we were definitely. It was funny for us. Obviously, it wasn't funny for the lieutenant. It was, kudos for trying to conquer your fears, right? I don't know if he should have been going for advanced open water when he is deathly afraid of water.
I'm not gonna lie. I didn't know there were octopus out there. Were you out there by like San Clemente Island and over there where the seals do their stuff?
No, I'm sorry. So San Clemente is just north of Camp Pendleton.
Oh, the town is San Clemente. Oh, okay, yeah,
right.
A half an hour north of Pendleton. Yeah.
Right.
Okay,
Yep.
okay. I didn't know there were octopus out there either. I had no idea.
Oh yeah.
Oh, I didn't know that. I've never heard that. Huh? How big was that thing?
Once it was spread out, probably hand size.
Wow! I had no idea. Interesting.
I don't understand. To me, it was interesting because it felt like I don't know if he planted it, right? Because he said, he did the bioluminescence thing, and the assistant instructor did the bioluminescence thing. So he was probably away for maybe at the most 5 minutes. So he was able to find. Yeah. So, yep.
Interesting.
That was definitely interesting. It was something that we talked about. The lieutenant got a good chuckle out of it. He was a good sport.
Later, I'm sure. Later.
Later. After the dive, we all came out, sitting back, having a beer, talking about it. And he's like, I don't know what I was thinking. I just freaked out. I know I wasn't supposed to. Thanks for grabbing, thanks for keeping me safe. It's just, the rest of us, especially when I said I could literally see the whites of his eyes around the octopus, right? His eyeballs.
That's hilarious. Oh my God. Yeah. That's great. We had, that would have been funny to see. Once again, I didn't even know there were octopus there. So that's interesting. Guys, we want to thank you so much for listening to the Jarhead Podcast. This is a quick reminder to all of our brothers and sisters out there that are in that hole, in that darkness, trying to find that light. Call me, text me, email me 24/7. I can't give you medical advice, but I could probably be a pretty good ear to listen to anything, maybe help you talk you through some stuff. If you are looking for some medical advice and medical attention, remember two things. One, you are not alone in this fight. You have a lot of brothers out here that are willing and able to help you in any way. And two, the world is a much better place with you in it. So please utilize the Veteran Crisis Hotline, 1-800-273-8255. Once again, 1-800-273-8255, or you can simply dial 988 on your cell phone. Do not let the darkness overcome you. There is light. Fight through. We're here to help. So you go through school and all of that. You do your time, and now it's time to make that decision. Stay in, get out, all of that. You transition out. For the guys that are thinking about transitioning or trying to make that decision or getting ready to transition, I remember when I transitioned out, they didn't have hardly anything for us. I mean, as far as what they have now, kind of what was your process when you transitioned? Did you kind of knew what you wanted to do when you got out? Did you have a job set up, or what was your status when you got out? Were you having to go find something or what?
I had to go find something. I was out at 29 Palms, went out to Virginia, and was able to land a role as a microcomputer specialist, basically helping everybody in the office with their computer problems. Because learning about computers and stuff like that, we tinkered around with, there were some laptops, but desktop systems. Yeah. So, I knew how to get around it, so landed a job out there. I had to go and hunt for a job after getting out. Back then, like you were saying, they hook you up with maybe a veterans thing where they there wasn't a lot for for us from what I'm
I think we
hearing
did like
now.
1 or 2
They did a
days of
lot.
seminars. I mean, I can't remember 1 or 2 days of seminars, and that was with your VA benefits if you had any disability if you had any. I mean, it was like there was really nothing for me or for any of us when we got out. It was to like, hey, you can go and do this, and they didn't work on building resumes. They didn't do any of that stuff. You were kind of like on your own. Or like, hey, thanks for doing your time. Next, and I was like, you know, when I got out, actually, the last 6 months of my time, man, was pretty bad. We had a little change in leadership in our platoon. It was just unfortunate. And once again, I'll say this: I was a little bitch for the last 6 months because I let a staff NCO who was kind of after about 3 or 4 of us. I don't know. He just didn't like us, but I allowed him to affect me. And so when I got out, man, I tell you what, I had a really bad taste of the Marine Corps in my mouth until the towers dropped. It took me several years to get over that and then realized, you know, I was kind of proud of what I did and all that. Did you, when you got out, were you scared or did you have ill feelings towards the Marine Corps, or were you just ready to move on to the next chapter in your life?
I was ready to move on. I had originally wanted to stay in, but I was actually seeing a lot of young Marines coming in, you know, literally boots coming in just out of MOS school, telling me that, oh, you're just a corporal. You can't tell me what to do.
Yeah.
What? Uh-huh.
What? Yeah.
Yeah. So there was definitely a change. But so it was time to move on, right? So it's like no ill feelings. It was just like, hey, things changed. I'm done. I appreciate the 5 years. Got to go.
So I tell you, this was like 97. Late 96, early 97. I don't know if you were out by then, but I don't know if you ever heard of them when they started freezing promotions. This was during the Clinton era, and they were trying to downsize the footprint of the Marine Corps and all of that. So they were freezing promotions to kind of drive people out. That didn't help when you're freezing promotions. Like I didn't pick up like corporal until about a year after I should have, because they finally opened it back up. And I was like, you know, like I was at E3 forever because I was like, man, I knew I should have been a corporal, but there were no more corporal slots.
Right.
And it's like, wow, this is crazy. It was terrible. It was terrible.
They had the freezes for when I was in. It was just the cutting scores were just high.
Yeah.
Right? It was definitely different. Right. So, and but I do hear what you're saying. Leadership way up there.
It's what it is.
I think they need it, right? So
it is what it is. So you transition, you get a job and all of that, and we move down to now you're able to probably help other people that have been there, done that, you know, to help them with their transitions and all that. One of the things that I talk about with a lot of people out there don't understand is I hear from a lot of guys that are either getting ready to get out or just had gotten out, and they're having difficulties finding something that they would enjoy. They think, well, I got to be a cop, or I got to be a contractor, or I got to do, you know, security work or a firearms instructor, all great jobs, but they think that there's only several things. And I said, guys, what you don't understand is, and I'm going to say all veterans, but especially I can speak for Marine Corps. I said, guys, you have certain traits and capabilities that no one else has. I said, you're worried about not having a 4-year degree. I said, your degree is your DD-214. That just proves just as much to any employer that you're able to finish tasks, that you're responsible, that you can handle it. I said, a college diploma, I said, don't feel like you can't get a job against a 22-year-old that's got a college diploma, and you're a 22-year-old guy that spent 4 years in the Marine Corps. I said, you understand and value time management. You're going to be extremely responsible. You're going to put mission first. You're going to respect time. I said, there's a lot of things that you traits that you're going to have that you don't even realize they're going to be able to set you up. When you start talking to people that might have issues or hiring people or whatever, whether the Marine Corps or not, but veterans in general, do you have any issues, or have you seen people that have problems not understanding what they actually bring to the table?
Yeah, as a matter of fact, one of the guys that's on my team now, he was in the Marine Corps. Got out, and he's working for the company, and I will either say that he is locked on, right? But I don't think he understood the spectrum of where he was able to go within the company.
Yeah.
Right. He's on my team now, so I'm like, hey, do your thing. You can go and screw up. If you're not screwing up, that means, if you don't fail at something, that means you're not pushing it.
That's right.
Right?
That's right.
I have no problems with you failing as long as you learn from it.
Mm-hmm.
You can do it once or twice. I'm okay with that. And the guys, one of the reasons I really liked him was, hey, just like you were saying, accomplishing a mission. He's willing to move mountains to accomplish a mission. He's accountable for what he's working on. Yep. Right? When I was doing it, even though we were doing all of the crap duties, right?
Right.
Polishing the floors, right? But
do a good job with it. Yeah.
You do a good job with it because, look at it now. This is the shiniest hallway you will see, right?
Yep.
It sucked at the time, but take pride in your work. Be accountable for your work.
Absolutely.
You take that away from 4 or 5 years in. If you've been in for even longer, now you have the leadership skills.
Yep.
That you
absolutely. And if you were ever, like you said, yeah, absolutely. If you've ever been an NCO or you've been a team leader, not even a squad leader, but even a team leader, you understand that you have other individuals that are responsible for the decisions, and you're responsible for them by the decisions you make. And confidence, that's a huge thing. People don't understand. People think that Marines are extremely arrogant, and we are. But we're also, that's how they want us. They want us extremely confident in what we can do. And I think that that's something that a lot of people are missing, that they're not always confident with their decision-making processes. It's like, look, do your due diligence. Figure out the best way to do it. But once you make that decision, you're all in on that decision, and be confident, because if you're not confident in the decision, the people underneath you are not going to be confident in your decision either. So I think that's a lot of it also is having confidence that, I've done what I'm supposed to do. This is the right play, the right move, the right decision. Let's move forward, and then people will follow,
Yep, exactly. Yeah, having that confidence, like you're saying, is huge. Confidence is a big piece. Know your work, right? That is, know what you're worth as well, right? You're not brought in because, you have I think you can do it. In an interview, come in with confidence, right? Change quite a bit of the verbiage, right? Don't use the Marine Corps jargons, right? Translate that to civilian speak.
Yep.
Prepare for where you're going to go, what you want to do.
Yeah, that's huge, because that's one thing across all branches, no matter what branch you served in. Self-pride is always a thing. Understanding your capabilities, being truthful with yourself about what your capabilities are. It's okay that you can't do everything. We're expecting you to be a Superman, although we always think we are. But I think that that's something that we learn the hard way. Unfortunately, I'll call it the hard way, but we learn from that. And I think kids coming out of college, the biggest fail they had is they might not have, passed one of their classes or whatever. And I think this is where a lot of veterans don't understand. Even a 22, 23-year-old veteran that spent 4 or 5 years and came out, they don't understand the life lessons and experiences that they had in those 4 years versus going to college for 4 years. And I think that's something that people need to realize. You did a lot of things in your time that will help you set up for the future and for success that other kids that are your same age that went to university may not have. The real world experience is just as important as the books. So there's a lot of that. The Recon and Sniper Foundation was founded in 2015 by a group of Recon Marines, Scout Snipers, and Navy SARCs. The Foundation's mission is twofold: emergency assistance and veteran community engagement. We assist current service members and veterans from all branches of the armed forces. Assistance can be in the form of financial help, peer counseling, mental health treatment, or any other feasible and viable form of aid. Emergency requests are submitted via the Recon and Sniper Foundation website and assessed by experienced case managers who ensure the request for assistance is legitimate. Our team fully considers the interests of the veteran and the stewardship of our donors' gifts. The Recon and Sniper Foundation also supports veterans through Team RSF, our competitive sports subsidiary. Through Team RSF, veterans and service members are provided a network of support to pursue competitive sports outlets in areas such as USPSA, precision rifle, endurance sports, cowboy sports, and many more. These men and women compete around the country representing the Recon and Sniper Foundation and support the cause. If you have any questions or want to donate or become part of Team RSF, see the website reconsniperfoundation.org. You got involved with the Recon and Sniper Foundation, and we're going to talk a little bit about that. If you can, talk about when it found, first of all information for Recon and Sniper Foundation and Team RSF are going to be in the description. So check those links out as well. But kind of give a little background about the Recon and Sniper Foundation, its mission, kind of when it started, and how you got involved with them.
Yep. So RSF, Recon and Sniper Foundation, was founded back in 2015 with a group of Recon Sniper guys and Navy SARCs, right? Twofold mission: emergency assistance as well as veteran community engagement. I've been with Team RSF, which is basically a subsidiary of Recon Sniper Foundation, where the get out there and do fun stuff together part, right? Raising money, helping vets, not just vets, active duty guys, as well as their respective families, right? I've been with Team RSF for a little over 2 years, and started. I was looking at getting into something that allows for me to give back. Well, what I found was that I had a lot of taking. I got out of USPSA, got into precision rifles, and I was fortunate enough where one of the guys from RSF is a PRS shooter, and he took me under his wings, and he's a friend, a coach, and a mentor. So I'm still bouncing ideas off of him with, different shooting positions, reloading and stuff. So I got a lot out of it. So right now I'm trying to give it back as well, right, to newer guys. That's new Team RSF guys, trying to guide them through, try to get them to be involved with RSF. That's where I am at. I've been supporting RSF for a while, since 2019, I guess. The Marine Party at SHOT Show, they sponsored it and all that. So I kind of started talking to the RSF guys. This is 2019, and had a blast and all that. I did IDPA for a while, and I haven't done it in a few years, and I kind of got tired of IDPA because of all the bullshit rules and all that. It's like, okay, I love IDPA for a lot of things, but I hate it for a lot of other reasons.
stopped doing it for a while. Last year, I decided, I've always wanted to kind of get into the long range precision. And so that's where I was last November. I bought the Bergara rifle, and I started putting a scope on there. I started going out to the range, start shooting, and had a blast. Went to my first match in November, went to my second match in December. Right before I saw you in January out in Vegas. So I'd done 2, and I loved them. And then all of a sudden, I don't reload. I don't have time, nor do I have another time for another hobby, because I understand that reloading can get extremely addictive. And I don't have another time for an addicting hobby, but I think I'm going to, because I haven't been able to shoot a whole lot this year, because I haven't been able to find 6.5 Hornady match ammo. And if I can find it, we're talking like $4 per round. And most of these matches are about 90 to 100 rounds per match. That's a lot of money for a few hour match. So I'm hoping that prices come down, or am I going to have to start reloading? But that's where I'm at. And I would, so someone like me who has been doing competition shooting in different disciplines for a while, but is looking for something, and maybe Team RSF is that organization or that team or that mission. How does someone get involved with Team RSF that might be interested?
It's really going to ReconSniperFoundation.org, and there's a Teams link.
Yep.
Go to that, and you can sign up. It is fill in all the information.
Right.
And we vet you, and it's not like, oh, let's see what his DD-214 is about. Let's go through his, service record book or anything. No, what are you doing? What are you interested in, right? Because Team RSF has endurance team, which includes Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu, right?
Oh, wow.
We have a flight team, and the team captain is out in Arizona. They just had a boogie out in Arizona, and I want to say the Phoenix area, to raise money. So there are some, I want to say a couple of pretty active 2A organizations and veteran companies that support the veterans. They were definitely out there in droves, raised some good money. We have PRS, USPSA. Our team captain for USPSA is down in Yuma. So we got recently a new guy that joined us for PRS, and he's out in Idaho. And he wants to do an Arctic warfare match in, I think he said November, right? And they're like, yeah, that's it's cold out there, I guess. I don't think I'll be able to travel. So we have precision rifle, precision, the action shooting. We have flight. We have endurance. We got a new guy in. He wants to bring scuba in as a team.
Oh, really?
So he's starting to do that. So we're bringing in guys that are Green Berets, right? And we have a team member who is going to be.
So you don't have to be a Marine.
No, you don't. It started off being, Recon Sniper, right?
Right.
That kind of put a little bit of.
That's a small number. That's a small number.
That is a small number. So it has been opened up. You don't have to be active duty. You don't have to be veteran. You can be, any branch, active or a vet.
Nice. Nice.
We have a team member who's going to be a MECEP. I shouldn't say MECEP, which is the enlisted commissioning program. She just got accepted, so we're
we used to call them Mustangs. I think they call them. They call them Mustangs back when I was in. I don't know what they call them back then, but they would call them Mustangs. Who were first enlisted and then became an officer after that.
Right.
I think it had to be maybe it had to be a sergeant. I want to say E5 to be in that program. I don't remember. I know you had to at least be an NCO.
Yeah, I want to say you have to be an NCO, right?
Yeah,
That's
okay.
the MECEP. I don't know what it is for the Air Force. This is the and we're super stoked for her.
Nice. It's awesome.
We were at a function. There's a Recon challenge once a year out here at
That's the
Pendleton.
Recon challenge. Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah. Couple of the Team RSF guys that were endurance guys was actually part of it. We were out there. There's 4 of us that were out there cheering them on as they were crossing the finish line. It looked pretty brutal. You know,
I've only seen videos of it and all of that. I understand that is a brutal time. So, yeah. God bless those guys that do that. I wouldn't. I don't think. I know at 47 years old with a shot back and shot knees, there's no way I could. But I'd love to think that I could, but I couldn't. I know for a fact.
They say you can train up for it, dude.
I guess,
think you can do it. I think you should try it out. Tell me what it's like.
Yeah, if you do it, I'll do it, bro. How about that? I'll meet you there.
Sounds like a challenge that I'll have to think about a little bit. Yeah, you're saying 47. I'm like, I'm hit. Well, I'm 55, so knees, ankles, jack, back. Yeah. But hey, those are excuses, right? Well, let's see. Maybe you and I should talk offline about that.
Yeah, we'll definitely do that. No, and I love the fact that there's something. The one other thing that I like about most vets is they're pretty competitive. You have to be competitive to some extent, and I think that whether it's competition shooting or scuba or whatever, and you guys are offering different teams, and it sounds like those teams are expanding into different and new teams concepts and all of that. There might be something out there for everyone that will give someone a place to go and have a mentor, have something to do as a team, compete a little bit in whatever discipline it is. More importantly, you're able to raise money to give back to guys as well. So I think that that's an awesome thing. When you guys decide to do a team event, like I'm in Arkansas, like I've really thought, I know you hit me up in January about joining Team RSF, and honestly, I would have if I had been shooting. I hadn't shot a match since last December. I hope to get back in this wintertime. And if I do, then I definitely will. But once you guys have that, let's say it's a PRS team or whatever, being in Arkansas, and I'm assuming that most of the guys are probably out west and all of that. Yeah, it's going to be probably hard to meet up. Do y'all do once a year meetup, or how does that happen?
That's one of the challenges. We're so geographically spread out, right? Mm-hmm. For me, there's only a couple of RSF guys out here in SoCal area.
Okay.
And they're actually they're sniper. I think they call themselves pigs, right?
Yeah, absolutely.
Yep. So, and they'll come out and shoot once in a while. We have another RSF team member. She's in the Navy, and she's into the fitness aspect of things, right? So that's cool as well. We try to pull people together once in a while to do an event.
Yeah.
I will say that I am putting up. I'm trying to put together an event for the first quarter, probably closer to March, is when I'm going to do a USPSA match out here in SoCal. Oh, wow. Right. Awesome. And it is going to be a 1-day match with all proceeds going to RSF. And I'm trying to bring in some sponsors, right? So working on that. There's guys that'll meet up out in North Carolina, South Carolina. There's guys that is in Texas that'll go and shoot together. It's really everywhere. You might not be able to shoot with a team member right away, but I think if when you step to a range, 90% of the time you're going to find somebody there that is a vet.
Yeah, absolutely.
You can
That's
build
the
your
cool
own
thing.
team. You can build your
That's
own
true.
team RSF right
See if
there.
they can bring him in. Absolutely, I never thought about that. So I might be able to, if I might be able to create our own little 4 to 6 man team of RSF in Arkansas, and we
Right.
could go. I never even thought about that. Now that's an interesting concept. That's really cool. I like that idea. Isn't that spreading the gospel of RSF and everything else, much less getting these
Right.
guys involved in a team concept as well?
So Team RSF really is, for what I've seen, is getting the active duty guys out of the barracks instead of playing on Xbox and stuff like that. Hone your skills, right? They talk, the Marine Corps talks about, the lethality of a Marine, right? Hone your skills. Come out and get better at at your craft, right? And it can be a lot of fun. We have a active duty Marine that is Team RSF, as part of Team RSF. He's on the Marine Corps shooting team.
Yep.
Right.
Love it.
Good
Love
guy.
it.
Yep. So he's doing 3-gun stuff. We had a 3-gun team, but that's kind of like phased out a little bit.
Sure.
I was able to go out to Yuma. It's like a 3-hour drive, or out in Phoenix to do a shoot with a couple of team members as well. Close enough. How often do we do it? I'd rather shoot in a certain area, right?
Sure.
I'm not, younger guys. Yeah, you guys can drive maybe 6 hours, right? And meet up with somebody at a match, right?
Right.
The whole Team RSF concept is getting people out into that community, active duty guys, veterans. Hey, go talk to somebody. Hey, this is part of who we are. All I want to do is to make sure you know that we're always beside you. We do, as team members, we're on various social medias. We do, checks. We do check-ins with everybody, right? We talk smack on, a certain board, right? But we try to have fun.
That's what we do anyways, That's what we do anyways. Yeah.
Like I'm sorry, this past February we had a guy run a 2-gun match out in Tampa area, and there's 2-3 guys that had been out for 6 years and had not had any engagements with the military.
Oh, wow.
They get in, the camaraderie is there. They like it. They're part of Team RSF. So it's building that camaraderie. So you never know when somebody, just talking to anybody at the range, right? You never know when something could be, they could be down that day, right?
Yeah.
Hey, older Marine, right? For me, it's just like, these are the guys that, for me, it's the guys that were in Vietnam or something.
Absolutely.
Right?
Yep. Absolutely.
Sit down, listen, talk to them. It is about building that veteran community, bringing in the active duty guys, right? Pulling them out of the barracks or whatever, giving them something, and talking, sharing possibilities.
Yeah, they may not know that there are a lot of different things that they can do, and experiencing and basically letting them talk to the vets that have been there, done that, could help them. As like you said, there might be guys that are kind of that 12-year mark that they're not sure if they want to go to 20, but they don't know what there is if I get out and all that. There might be some of these guys that really help their lives, their plans, and say, hey, you can do this, you can do that, or you should, you know what, bro, you should stay in or whatever. There's a lot of guidance and mentorship probably for these guys as well.
Yeah, it's just perspectives, right? Gaining perspectives from people who've, like you said, been there. You have all walks, guys from all branches, right? Different MOS.
Yeah.
And they, there's guys that's gotten out, that they're Boilermakers, right? I got out, I'm in the IT industry, right?
Yeah. I'm a golf pro at this point in my life. What the hell?
I need to become a golf pro.
No, you don't. No, you don't. It's not as glamorous as it sounds. I promise you. But I didn't start playing golf till I was 21 in the Marine Corps, of all things. So it's one of those things. You just, it is what it is. So there's a lot of things that are out there for people. For people that might be interested in joining Team RSF, I know you said go to reconsniperfoundation.org. And I've been there, so I'm asking this as if I didn't know already what it was. But for someone out there that hasn't been there before, you go to the team and you can do apply, or I think it's apply for Team RSF or something. For team. So what are they going to need to do, or what are they going to need to have for prerequisites to send into you guys to get approved or not?
It's fill out all the information. If you're active duty, show us proof that you're active duty, right? DD 214, block out all your social, right? Your address. We don't need that, right? It's a photo of your DD 214, and we ask for 2 references.
Okay, so what if shooting references or just personal references?
Personal reference. We just want to reach out to them to say, hey, how is this person? How is Joe Schmuckatelli?
Right. Absolutely. No, I get you. And at that point, let's say you're approved and you're now part of Team RSF. What's the next step of being part of Team RSF? Is there certain things you have to do, or is there a due structure? What is all that about?
So right now it's $25 a year.
That's it?
Yep.
Oh, wow.
And you get a coin, you get a water bottle, and a always beside you t-shirt. Mm-hmm. You are given access to Discord, and that's where we chat back and forth.
Sure.
Right?
Yep.
From there, yes, there's definitely documents that will tell you, hey, you know what? If you want just to hang out, meet other people, whether it's on Discord or if you get to that point where, hey, that somebody is in, Arkansas. Right. Yep. There's 4 or 5 guys out there. Hey, close enough. Hey, let's go shoot a match together. Right.
Absolutely.
Go do that. Or we share on Instagram as well as Facebook. Really, Team RSF tries to pontificate for RSF. We want to get visibility for Recon Sniper Foundation so we can have the donations coming in so we can help, right? We didn't get into this part.
That's what the whole point is, to help active duty and veterans. That's the whole point of the mission of RSF. Yeah.
Right. Having the social media presence will help, guide them, towards that, right? We could have donors going in there looking at, hey, okay, yep, I can donate. We raised a ton of money for the Kabul Warriors, the Fallen Warriors.
Oh, really? That's awesome.
Yep. There was a sergeant that had a daughter who has a rare genetic disease. Boom. We try to help them out by providing a place for them to stay closer to, I think they were 2 or 3 states away to where the hospital is where the daughter needed to be. So we try to provide some financial assistance. Battle buddy that passes away and you don't have enough funds to get to the funeral, we definitely try to help. Right.
Oh, no, that's awesome.
We have case managers is reaching out on RSF. Team RSF guys, we want to interact with veterans and active duty members and just make sure that group is good. right? Everybody's like, hey, let's talk, right? What are you doing now? You know, we have to give them time to acclimate, obviously, to the group. And once they start opening out, we start talking smack to each other. And if nothing else, they know that they have somebody to go talk to.
And for some people, that's the most important thing. That is the thing. I think that, you know, how do I put this? I'm big in the promotion and the advocacy of trying to eliminate veteran suicide. It's, you know, some people say it's 22 a day. It's more like 17 a day, but it's still 17 too many. And from, you know, what's interesting is I've had people call me at weird hours and I'm blessed to have been able to help a couple of people to have just called that have seen my podcast or videos or whatever and call, which is great. A lot of times they're alone. They feel like there's no one there and no one understands them. And how on earth could anyone understand what I'm going through? And it's like, yo, like you got a whole lot of people that have been there, done that have been there, that understand what you're talking. You can talk a certain way with us. You're not going to offend us. You're going to, whatever that is. And I think a lot of times just having someone there and knowing they're not alone and having that trust that I can go to these guys and speak my mind and say stuff that I can't say to other people in my life. And they got this, they understand, they'll help me. That's a pretty powerful tool to have in your life.
Yep, that's what we want to be able to get out there, right?
Yeah.
One of the things that, you know, are always beside you shirt, right?
Yep.
Always beside you. They come talk to me. You know, within that group, my number's out there. If they need anything, call me. I'll do what I can to help. You know, we'll tap other resources, right?
Sure.
We're going to sit back and try to figure it out, or just listen.
Yeah. And sometimes that's as important as anything else, is just listening to someone and let them get off their chest what they need to get off their chest, and no judgments at all. I love the fact, and people also understand is the veteran community is all entwined. Yes. The mission of Recon Sniper Foundation is great, but like you said, if there's something that this foundation can't really do to help, well, we might know 6 or 7 other foundations that are friends of ours that are all veteran foundations say, that's not kind of what we do, but I know a guy that does it for over here. And that's the coconut telegraph, if you will. That's a cool thing about having a community. And it's not just a couple of foundations. It's a community that a lot of people don't realize is out there. We have our own, you know, underground community, if you want to call it that.
Yep, exactly.
All right, so we're going about an hour and a half, and I know, Todd, you're on the West Coast, so it's probably getting dark. It's dark here. It is what it is. It's that time of year. I love it. Real quick, I want to give you a few minutes to talk about social media if you want, whether it's yours or Recon Sniper Foundation or Team RSF. I'll have all the links in the description, guys. But give us some ideas of what maybe events are coming up. Where can people find you or RSF online? And like I said, if someone's willing to think about joining, like I am, like I would have joined in January when you hit me up on it. I've been shooting matches. I was talking to someone, why didn't you ever join? I was like, because I haven't shot a match since last December. And I feel weird about joining. I know, but in my mind, it's like I don't want to be part of something if I can't give something to that, you know. And it is what it is. This has been a crazy year. I think next year's going to be a great year, but it's just been a weird year with ammo prices or even availability. It's just been a weird year, and I don't reload, so I'm really up to. I need to start reloading. It sounds like I've got a buddy of mine that's got a press and all that. I might just go get the components and use his instead of buying the presses and all of that. But that's something that I might have to do because it's hard to find match quality ammo for a decent price right now.
Yeah, I hear you. It's there's definitely a lot of guys that are smaller guys that are actually putting out decent ammo, right?
Yeah.
You may consider, instead of shooting your PRS, is spin on a 223 barrel, right?
Yeah.
You can still get out there, you can still reach to a certain distance and still have fun.
More importantly, you can still compete in PRS, just maybe in the tactical division instead of whatever division you're going to do it in.
Yeah, or build a 223 gas gun for like with a 22-inch. There
I love that.
Something like that.
That could be fun. Yeah.
Lots of options out there.
Yeah. So where can people find Recon Sniper Foundation? I don't know if you want to give out your personal social media stuff. That's on you. Instagram. I know you're on Instagram and all of that. But at least where people can find the Recon Sniper Foundation for sure.
So reconsniperfoundation.org, right? We talked about that a little bit ago. Team, you can reach me at Team RSF at reconsniperfoundation.org, right? That's another piece.
Is that so? If they put Team RSF, that's going to go to you.
Yep.
So right now you're kind of heading up. You're kind of heading up the Team RSF stuff. I know you were in January. You were helping out for someone, weren't you, or something like that? As far as the application process.
Yeah, I own the application aspect of it. I am actually stepping in to help the team manager. He's busy, so I'm basically trying to fill his shoes right now. So trying to run the Team RSF aspect of it to the best of my ability. So, like I mentioned, there's a Arctic warfare coming up. I'm putting together a match in towards the end of the first quarter next year. We're looking at putting together a boogie, which is basically a skydiving little event. I want to say that's out in either Tucson or out in Phoenix again. But that's another piece that's coming up. We got the scuba diving guy out there in Florida. He's willing to get you certified. All you have to do is just pay for the PADI's cost. He's not going to charge you anything more. So,
that's awesome.
All of the guys that we have, they're ready to give.
Man, I need to get back into my and I live in Arkansas, so I don't get to the ocean a whole lot. Got certified, obviously, years and years ago, and I need to get back. I think the scuba thing could be awesome. I enjoyed it. I really did love it. Like I said, we went scuba diving a few times in Okinawa, a lot of snorkeling in Okinawa, but I need to get back and get my, like I said, I had that lapse 20 some odd years ago, 25 years ago, whatever. So I need to get back. That would be fun. That would be a really cool thing to do.
It may be something to do when it's like freezing cold out in Arkansas, right?
Exactly.
You can, take a weekend vacation if you get hooked up with the guy out there. There's guys out at North Carolina. I don't know if you ever want to go out into that area.
I've got a buddy of mine who's an old Recon guy in North Carolina. So I'll go out to South Carolina in April, I think, is when we're planning on doing that for the gathering, and he'll come down. He lives in the Charlotte area, somewhere around there. Yeah, interesting.
Cool.
Yeah, I think a lot of people, like I said, I've enjoyed what the RSF brings. Like I said, I was kind of first about I think it was 2019 or 2018. I can't remember. You guys, they've been doing for a couple of years. They sponsored the Marine Party, the quote unquote Marine, the unofficial Marine Party at SHOT Show over at the Leatherneck Club.
The Leatherneck Club, yep.
Yeah, that's what we call the Marine Party. It doesn't have an official name. but it's the Wednesday of shot over at the Leatherneck Club, and there's a lot of people there. And I remember, I think it was 2018 or 2019, the first time I was like, oh, I didn't know that there was this thing. And it was awesome. I got to talk to a lot of old guys and met some people, and then saw some people that I knew from way back. So it was kind of a cool thing. But obviously ran into you in Vegas in January and all of that. So, I think that now that I know that I don't have to shoot, see, my understanding, and this is something that's just being naive about, I thought that you were going to have to shoot X amount of matches per year, and having a full-time job like you do as well. But I couldn't guarantee, because I work weekends a lot, that I couldn't guarantee X amount of matches per year. But now that I know that that's not necessarily the case, that opens up me a little bit more.
Right. There's no requirement for that, right? Once you get into Team RSF, you compete. It's how far you want to take it, right?
Sure.
I am what's called a jersey holder, right? You earn your memorial jersey. You actually wear somebody's name that is a Recon.
I saw that, and I love that. I saw your jersey, and it's got their name on the back. I love that. That's really cool.
Right. I have Major Alan Rowe. He was in, because I've been out for so long, I went down the list of all the Recon sniper guys that's passed, right?
Mm-hmm.
I found Major Alan Rowe. He was a sergeant around the time that I was out there. That's the only identity that's the only way I can connect, right? Everybody else, when I look at it, they were either way before my time or they were way after my time.
Right.
So earning that gray jersey does take some dedication. You have to be a certain level shooter. You have to post and tag, your match video, results and things like that. Being a good guy is a big thing, or a good person, good human being, always willing to help, right? That speaks volumes towards that gray jersey. And, if you come in wanting to go that route, there is that piece, there's that path. And you can, if you get to that point where, somebody wants to step down for action shooting, you want to help drive just to keep the guys up and running, right? And get them together once every Friday to do a dry fire session online.
Sure. Absolutely.
Focus on certain little, focus on certain little pieces to work on, right? Yep. Or get out and train together. So
I love the idea of a weekly kind of a dry fire, or at least if nothing else, a get together, especially like the PRS, because I'm new to the PRS game, and I've got some friends that are very like top 20 in the rankings and all of that, and I talk to them, but they're so far in advance than where I am that I feel like I'm bothering them. But having guys that I might be able to like ask questions, or hey, I've got the Armageddon Schmedium bag. Is that a good one, or is there a better bag out there? Or what kind of tripod are y'all using? What kind of binos are you using? Or little things. Hey, are you guys running a silencer, or are you guys running what do you call it? Freaking
a brake,
a muzzle brake. And that's one of those things where. It's kind of cool. And so that's kind of where, when I first started to shoot PRS, I went up to Missouri, and it was the closest match that I could find. And so I went up there, and I took a buddy with me, and I just went up there and I just sat there all day and just asked questions. And I'm sure I was bothering them, but what I loved about competitive shooting, even when I was doing IDPA, like the welcoming into the club is awesome. It's a great community. People are more than happy to help beginners. And so I was just asking them different questions. But now having something where you could talk on a weekly thing, and having that team, because I love team aspect, that'd be kind of great to have.
Yeah, it's definitely having that participation, right? I can tell you for PRS, it's a great community as a whole. but PRS shooters are not out there. Oh, look at what I did. Oh, look at what I did. Right.
Yeah.
They're kind of like the quiet guys.
And that's
Right.
that's what I like about it, because IDPA, it was fun. I loved it. Did it for a while. Loved it. The PRS is more, to me, it's more challenge because it's new. I love getting behind a rifle. I love the idea of long range shooting. More importantly, the guys that I've met so far are kind of my kind of guys. Just they're out there, we're having fun, we're going to help all that, but it's not about me. It's about, it's that's what I found so far. You're right. It's not about being boastful and all that. It's, once again, PRS comes from the sniper side of things, and those guys are really, I mean, I got buddies that are snipers, and they're very humble. They're methodical about everything they do in life. So yeah, I enjoy the long range stuff. I'm not experienced enough to I know enough to be dangerous. Does that make sense? I'm a good enough shot to be dangerous, but I don't know what I don't know. And that's where I need to help, is that next step.
That's a big thing. That's a big thing, right? Being humble enough to know that you don't know everything. Go observe, watch, talk to people. Why did you do it this way? Why did you use this piece of gear? Yeah. And there's so much to learn. I've been at this for a year and a half. I still feel like, I'm unassing myself with all the gear, the different combinations, even moving a bipod back, by 6 inches helps you with elevation. I'm just like,
Right. Exactly.
Yep.
That's awesome. So Todd, thank you so much. We ran a little bit longer than I told you we were going to run. I hope I didn't cause any issues at home. I hope you didn't have plans, but we'll get you out of here. Thank you so much for joining. We really appreciate you. And go check out reconsniperfoundation.org. Check out over on Instagram and all of that, Team RSF. I'll have all the links for all the social medias down there for Recon Sniper and Team RSF. I'll have them down there in the description. So thank you so much for coming on. We'll talk to you soon, buddy. Appreciate you very much for coming on.
Thank you very much for inviting me. Great chat. We'll definitely hook back up after this. Thank you.
Most definitely. You got it, brother. Well, guys, thank you so much for listening to this podcast. We hope you enjoyed it. If you want to check out all of our other podcasts from season 1, our swag store, any of our videos, go check out our website, ghosttactical.us. Once again, thank you for listening and always supporting all of our ventures. We truly do appreciate you guys. We'll see you soon. Semper Fi.